tell how many people have told me I'm never going to use meth again, and then 5 minutes later they're using it again.
You had, I swear,
I could give you 90 days if you'd like.
I just don't understand why I'm being punished for something I didn't do.
Sir?
Yes, sir.
I met you at the time of your plea. You're charged with possession of methamphetamine, alleging to have occurred on September 30th. The matter was accelerated. You had prosecutor made a plea offer of use of methamphetamine, and Mr. Gibson and Mr. Marvin, I think, came to me and said, well, he accepts the plea. Can we just do it now? So we did. That was on October 4th. I canceled the defendant's bond, set the matter for sentencing today. I wanted to get some more information because I was concerned because the affidavit says he has 9.2 grams of methamphetamine, which is apparently supported. He denied that. I don't think it was packaging. I think it was meth, unless you can disabuse me of that, Mr. Gibson. No one's here from the prosecutor's office for the sentence. The defendant, well, I did talk to his previous probation officer, Matt Huff. And Mr. Huff's fear is you traded alcohol addiction for methamphetamine addiction. You're depressed. Family went to Tennessee. And you're here and life's not going well, and you turn to methamphetamine. You're a veteran. You're eligible for veteran services. According to Mr. Summey, they were ready to put you in treatment. And they have a house for you in one of the veterans housing units on M86. There's nothing else really remarkable about this other than you got stopped for no insurance and I think no plate. You're driving around with no plate. I see a syringe, which means you're using methamphetamine intravenously. It's not good. And you have quite a bit of it.
Yeah. I had nowhere near 9 grams of methamphetamines. It was in a wooden box that he weighed the scale on, so that's where the actual weight came from.
That's what you said. Can you confirm that, Mr. Gibson?
Well, it says, I don't see a lab report, but it says that he weighed, it says in the report, wooden box containing 9.3 grams of methamphetamine. The chunk was weighed outside of the box at Three Rivers Police Department. It also field tested positive, sent to MSP for lab testing. So I guess, I don't know. I mean, it does sound like
he had 9 grams of meth.
But
Impossible.
Well, we'll see. One of the problems is that, and it's not necessarily a problem, but this was done so quickly that it didn't, we have time to get the lab report back. But the officer is explicit that it was drugs. You got somebody in the car. She has open warrants for her. She gets arrested and taken to pump on her charges, and you're taken to our jail. You owe money in a domestic violence case, 222360, and a drinking driving case, 231374. I think you did 93 days on the drunk driving case.
Yes, Your Honor.
You haven't made any payments since January or February. You did call in May and say that you didn't have the ability to pay and you tried to. Your money was being spent on methamphetamine.
No, you haven't.
This stuff. So here we are. You've been in jail for 9 days, which is a good start. Mr. Gibson, what would you like me to know?
well, the defendant, prior to being arrested, apparently Mr. Lockhart had started through the Veterans Affairs of St. Joseph County. Stoney indicated that he had been in his housing program for about 3 weeks and that he wanted to get him into treatment as soon as possible. So apparently before he got arrested, I guess there was some type of a recognition by the defendant that he knew he was struggling. And the way he describes it to me, he describes alcohol and methamphetamine, but the defendant indicates to me that alcohol is actually his, I guess you could say, the controlled substance that he's got the biggest problem with. I don't know if it's a circumstance where they go together. But I think the defendant, he definitely recognizes he has a problem. He's seeking inpatient treatment or outpatient treatment, but he does know that he needs treatment. And so if it's not inpatient treatment, he needs intensive outpatient treatment. He's also indicated to me that he's hoping to start a new job soon, that he believes he's lined up. He's also talked about an apprenticeship as an electrician. So I think the defendant, I think he recognizes he has a problem. He's wanting help. So I would ask the court to, if the court believes that the time that the defendant's had in the jail is not enough of a consequence, I would ask the court to consider putting the defendant on probation, with the idea of the defendant's drug treatment being the main goal of that. As an alternative, the defendant also could be ordered to do community service. And so I'm asking the court to sentence the defendant, as far as jail time, for credit for time served. Thank you.
One thing I can do is wipe out some of these fines with the time you've been in jail. Mr. Lockhart, what would you like me to know?
What my attorney said, Your Honor, was pretty accurate. I do realize that I had an issue with the methamphetamines. It was a fairly recent issue, actually. It's not something that's been going on for a while, but the alcohol is a huge impact in my life. And I believe everybody says marijuana is a gateway drug, but alcohol is that for me. I ended up getting intoxicated and saying yes to some things that I shouldn't have said yes to. But methamphetamines is not something I ever wanted. I despise it, honestly, in a way. I don't want my son to have a junkie as a father. And being, I guess, arrested in a situation that I was arrested in with a syringe, and the person that I was with, and seeing the lifestyle that I was turning into and going down, it terrifies me in a way. But I know that's not a guarantee. I know I'm never going to do anything again, and it's hard for you to believe that, but it's just the truth. It's my truth. I don't have anything else to give you a certainty that I won't do anything like that again, but my word, and I swear to God, I'll never touch this shit again.
Well, it's very powerfully addictive, and you were injecting it with us. That's scary. That's down the path. At one point, you said you were working at Nichols Flooring.
Yes, Your Honor.
And at one point, you said you were a bartender at the American Legion.
Currently bartending, and I worked for Greg Nichols and Josh Nichols for about 8 years.
All right. And is that job waiting for you when you get out?
The job that's waiting for me when I get out. The housing that Stoney put me in VA housing here in M86, the gentleman that lives next to me, he's also in the VA, and he is a manager at Napa, and he's giving me a job. But also through the American Legion, I met a guy named Josh Williams there, and he gave me pretty much an inside track to getting an apprenticeship as an electrician at Kendall Electric. And I've applied for both. I've just been waiting for the phone calls. For all I know, I get out and I could have those jobs. The Napa is guaranteed, but the Kendall Electric is kind of hopeful.
All right. And being a bartender is not an ideal job for someone that's got a serious alcohol addiction.
Your Honor.
All right, I'm going to wipe out the failed to pay fines and costs of interfering with the crime report. And 22760 SM, 9 days, credit 9 days. I'm going to wipe out the failed to pay fines and costs in the drinking driving case. 9 days, credit 9 days, leaving 0 and 0 fine. So those two things, you're driving around in the wrong place with the wrong person at the wrong time with a syringe and 9 grams of methamphetamine. Whether you agree with it or not, that's how much it weighed. So either you don't remember, don't recall, or you're not telling me the truth.
Yeah.
But I'm going to order 30 days, credit 9. You're going to get 5 days of good time. You need some more clean time. I can't tell how many people have told me I'm never going to use meth again, and then 5 minutes later, they're using it again.
Your Honor, I swear to
I could give you 90 days if you'd like.
I just don't understand why I'm being punished for something I didn't do.
Because, well, let's assume it was 1 gram.
It was 0.9 grams in a wooden container.
9.2 grams.
Well, I guess can I explain to the defendant that under the law, the law says from, like, in a sense, any weight up to 25 grams, it's all treated the same.
I didn't know that. I'm sorry.
So I mean, it's in a sense,
But it's literally 0.9.
residue is a 10-year felony just as much as having 24 grams. So I mean, I'm just telling you,
All right,
the law,
okay.
they don't.
Well, the problem is it isn't 0.9 grams. It's 9.2 grams. Even so,
Yes, Your Honor.
it's meth with a syringe. So let's assume it is 0.92 grams.
Yes, Your Honor.
0.092 grams, less than a gram. Maybe you're right. It's still methamphetamine that you're doing with a syringe.
Your Honor, the syringe wasn't mine, if I'm being honest.
All right.
But the meth was.
Okay. You're going to get some more clean time.
Yes, Your Honor.
The fine is $0. There's a $75 crime victims' rights fee and a $50 state minimum fee. You weren't paying your fines and costs because you were spending it on methamphetamine. So I'm not going to jack you up with a bunch of costs. Apparently you were working, but you weren't giving any of the money to us. What's that?
I only had that job for about 2 or 3 weeks now, Your Honor. The
All right.
rest of that time I was unemployed.
$125 or 2 days. Things will get better.
Yes, Your Honor.
Matt just says you're at a low point. You're depressed. You got reason to be depressed, but methamphetamine is not the answer to this question. It's a 10-year.
You weren't true either, Your Honor. My family's here in Michigan. They're not in Tennessee. I get my daughter every other weekend. I don't understand what he was saying is coming from.
All right. Well, maybe they came back.
They never left, Your Honor.
Oh, he told me that they had gone to Tennessee and you were here by yourself. Who's the girl that was in the car with you?
Her name is Dee, I believe, Deanna. And
how'd you
I
know
was
with
giving
her?
her a ride from a house on what is it called? The street over by where I used to live. We knew some mutual friends there, and I was giving her a ride from there.
Well, you used to live at Rock River. So
Yeah.
where's your family?
My ex-wife, lives in Jones now, Jones, Michigan, with her new fiance and my daughter. And my new son and his mother live in Vicksburg.
Okay, you got a lot going on, don't you? And you're right. You need to be a better person for all those people you just named. You're going to get some clean time, about 2 more weeks. The resources from the VA will be waiting for you when you get out. All right, I wiped out everything else that I could. $125 or 2 additional days. So you got to pay $125 at least, state minimum fine, or 2 additional days.
The job was doing nothing but harm for me. It's like it's taking me away from my employment. I mean, now.
All right, how about 180 days? How about a year? It's a 10-year felony reduced to a misdemeanor.
This courtroom moment isn't loud, chaotic, or dramatic, but it is powerful. A man stands before the judge facing a meth possession charge that moved through the system faster than most cases ever do. The plea came quickly, the bond was canceled, and sentencing was set almost immediately. And that speed matters because it leaves no room for excuses or denial. From the start, the judge delivers a harsh reality check. He explains that countless people stand in front of him promising they'll never touch meth again. And just minutes after getting out, they're right back to it. That statement frames everything that follows. This isn't about fancy legal arguments. It's about addiction, accountability, and whether this man can truly change. The facts of the case are serious. He was stopped driving without insurance, without plates, and with meth inside the vehicle. A syringe was also found, and that tells the real story. This isn't casual use. This is addiction that has already crossed a dangerous line. There's debate about whether the drugs weighed closer to 1 gram or 9. But the judge makes it clear the law treats it the same. What matters most is the behavior, the risk, and the pattern. But this case also has another layer. The defendant is a military veteran. He isn't alone, he isn't abandoned, and he isn't without help. The VA already lined up housing for him. Treatment was available. Support systems were waiting. He even had job opportunities and an apprenticeship possibility. He admits alcohol led him down the path that eventually turned into meth addiction. He says he wants better for himself and his kids. He says he's scared of becoming the kind of father his children can't look up to. The judge listens. He wipes out some fines. He acknowledges the struggle, but he also refuses to ignore reality. Addiction doesn't disappear because someone says, "I promise." So instead of empty sympathy, the judge gives him something more meaningful: time to get clean, access to treatment, and a chance to prove real change, not just talk about it. This wasn't just sentencing. It was a reality check, a warning, and maybe the turning point this man desperately needs.